Welcome to my channel. My name is Mitch. I'm a certified personal trainer that is obsessed with books, habits, and health. I am not a nutritionist, so take everything in this video with a grain of salt. Before we get into this review of Myfitnesspal, if you're looking for nutrition advice, the best option for you is going to be to have a nutritionist or a dietitian look specifically at your needs. In this video, we're first going to talk about counting calories. I'm going to give an app overview of Myfitnesspal and demonstrate how to use it. I'll tell you whether or not the premium option is worth it, my personal recommendations for use, and then I'll discuss a great potential alternative to counting calories. So the primary function of Myfitnesspal is to count your calories, which can be a terrific way to learn about your diet and bring more awareness to the foods that you're eating. I personally have used Myfitnesspal on and off for about 10 years now. I'll usually only use it when I'm at the very end of a cut or the very end of a bulk. However, when I first started lifting, I used it practically every day, and this prior built up knowledge is still information that I'll use while eating intuitively throughout the year. Counting calories is probably the most effective weight gain or weight loss tool that I'll use with any of my clients. The reason for this is your body is basically an input-output machine. If you're eating more calories than you're outputting, you're going to be gaining weight. If you're burning more calories than you're eating, you're going to be losing weight. There is definitely some more nuance to be had here, but calorie counting works. Okay, so when you first set up this app, it's going to ask for all of your credentials, how tall you are, how active you are. Myfitnesspal then plugs all of this information into an algorithm, and it gives you general advice on how many calories you should be eating in order to achieve your goals. Within the app, the only two tabs that I'll use are the diary and progress tabs. I've taken a look at the blog. Everything seems to be pretty good, but it's intended for a general audience, so don't take anything in the blog too literally. Okay, let me give you a quick demonstration on how I tracked my oatmeal from this morning.
So for every one of these ingredients, I'm going to be using a different calorie tracking method. Let's get into it. So first up is my oat milk. When you're adding something to your diary, first you have to say if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is breakfast for me. Then if you're adding a brand new food, you're going to go scan barcode. You scan the actual barcode. It pulls up all of the macronutrients, which is incredibly helpful. Here I see that 1 cup is 116 calories. I'm going to add that. Now for my oat milk, I know that there's roughly 3 cups in a carton of oat milk. So I'm going to just pour out about a third of it, and that looks about good to me. Next up is my oatmeal. Obviously I can't use that exact same method, but I'm going to be using a measuring scoop in order to get 1 cup of oats into my oatmeal. Now when it comes to measuring spreads, what I recommend that you do is you put the spread on the scale first, you scoop out as much as you want, and then you get to see exactly how much you took out. Next up is my protein supplement. It's always best to eat protein from a whole natural source, but I personally find it difficult to get that amount of protein in, so I have a protein supplement. And then I add my blueberries. So here I am setting the scale to 0 with the blueberries on. I try to be cute for you guys here. Catch on camera me adding all the blueberries, and I end up pouring out way too many. So this actually came out to 209 grams of blueberries. Next up are my chia seeds, which I do a much better job of, and it comes out to 18 grams. Following that, we have a little bit of video magic, and then I get a true weight of how much apple I'm actually putting into my oatmeal, which you're gonna see is quite different than Myfitnesspal thinks. The app estimates that this is 1/2 cup of sliced red apples coming out to 32 calories, when in actuality, this is less than half of the actual weight of the apples. That's a small amount for one meal, but if you're consistently off over weeks and months, it can really add up. My general recommendations for anybody who's looking to use this app, if you are in the camp of wanting to lose weight, the most aggressive goal that I would have a general client of mine take is 1 pound of weight loss per week. If you want to gain weight, put it at about 0.5 pounds of weight gain per week. Any more than this, you might be adding a little bit more fat than you like. After you've set your overall calorie intake goal, you have the option of selecting how much protein, how many carbs, and how many fats you want to eat. This is where nutrition can get extremely confusing, but I would say for most people, you want to have somewhere between 0.6 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean tissue. That means if you have a higher body fat percentage, say 35%, you would base your protein intake off of 65% of your total body weight. Generally, it's better to go a little bit over on protein than under. So I do skew a little bit more towards the 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat. And then for carbs and fats, it's an absolute shit show. What I tell most people is if you enjoy carbs more than fats,
have a more carb-rich diet if you enjoy fats more, vice versa. When you first start using MyFitnessPal, it is a very tedious and labor-intensive task, but if you're gonna give this a go, you really have to push through the first 2 weeks and then things will ease up, but you don't wanna quit within the first 2 weeks. One thing that I really stress with clients is that when you're counting your calories every single day and when you're weighing yourself regularly, there are massive weight fluctuations on a day-to-day basis that don't necessarily mean that you're putting on body fat or gaining muscle at too fast a rate. Depending on how much water you're drinking, how much sodium is in your diet, and how many carbs you're eating, your body weight will just naturally ebb and flow. Your weekly and monthly calorie intakes matter way more than your calorie intake on any given day. So when you have an off day and you fuck up, you haven't actually fucked up. The best approach to health is to not beat yourself up over these days and to get back on the horse, treat your body with love, feed it nourishment, and watch yourself become healthier with time. As far as the premium version of MyFitnessPal goes, a few things that you'll get from it are one, no ads, which is kind of nice. The user experience is a little bit smoother. You also get access to food scanning, which is basically you take a picture of the food that you're eating and it guesstimates how many calories you're eating. When I did this for my oatmeal, it wasn't terribly accurate. I haven't had a lot of time using this function, but this certainly isn't going to be the most accurate way of measuring your calories. One of the other things that you get with MyFitnessPal Premium is the ability to choose out very specific macronutrient goals. Unless you're a competitive bodybuilder or if you're a very advanced lifter, you probably won't need these functions. For the vast majority of people, I would say stick with the free option of MyFitnessPal. Calorie counting is a very powerful tool and it is great for nutrition education, but I do think that the main benefit of calorie counting is bringing more awareness to what you're eating. A lot of my clients before counting calories have no concept of how much food that they're actually eating. Even if you're trying to gain weight and you tell yourself you're eating a ton each and every day, I find a lot of my clients will have these streaks of going, 4 or 5 days of having 5 meals a day, hitting 4,000 calories, and then they'll have another day where they eat 800 calories. And what matters most is our weekly calories. So oftentimes people will think that they're eating way more than they're actually eating or eating way less than they're actually eating. The only way to really know how much you're eating is to count your calories. That being said, there is a healthy and an unhealthy amount of awareness that you have around the foods that you're eating. Some of the worst relationships that I've seen with food have been from other personal trainers who have obsessed over every single macronutrient they put in their body. One of the personal trainers that I used to work with used to not eat any vegetables so that he could just eat more protein and carbs. His bodybuilding coach, who used to do the exact same thing, had to take blood out of his body or else it would coagulate. If you have a history of eating disorders or if you're prone to having an eating disorder, calorie counting is the last place that I'd have you look. Calorie counting works best for people who already have a good relationship with their diet. One great alternative to calorie counting that's a little bit less involved is food journaling. So this is just writing down what you're eating every single day. This is another great way to bring overall awareness to what you're eating. Overall, MyFitnessPal is a great app for people who have healthy relationships with food, but it can be overdone, so proceed with caution. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.